What's up, everybody? Sorry for the delay. Welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. I am your host, Phil Robinson. Jones is dealing with inclement weather, and so he will be with us when we can. We've got a good show for you tonight. We have special guest Levi Edwards. We're going to talk about the Sin City Miracle, preview the Pittsburgh Steelers game, and just bringing you up to date on everything Raiders. All that and more on the Unfiltered Truth. Let's start the show. And we are back. Let's welcome Levi Edwards. Yay! What's going on, Levi? How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm in the holiday spirit. Uh, just getting ready for another week, another game, cold weather game. It'll be a good time.
Yes, it will. And we are still playoff eligible, fighting for our very playoff lives. And we got a big game this weekend. But before we get to that game with the Steelers, Levi, the Sin City Miracle. I watched that through my TV and stared in disbelief. I watched the clip on Twitter more times than I can count, and every time I watch that, I just can't understand how that happened, and more importantly, I just keep coming back to this. That's going to be a moment, the monkey off our backs. No better feeling than watching Mac Jones get the absolute soul stiff armed out of his body.
um, well, I think that I'm just gonna try to encapsulate everything from the best of my recollection. So, watching the game live, everything happened with the Keelan Cole touchdown, and of course, they reviewed it. It was ruled touchdown, and it was very. I mean, I know there's just so many angles that was used to where I know a lot of people are still trying to, say, he was out, was he in, a lot of things of that nature. And I'm not here to discuss that. I'm not a referee. I did
Nope.
not have anything to do with the calling. But it was ruled a touchdown, and I will definitely say that it was too inconclusive to change the calling for sure. So you go through all that, and then you're about to go. There's 32 seconds left in the game, so it's still a little bit of time left. To maybe make some magic happen. I've seen crazier things happen in less time. So the Patriots, they kind of get down to about the 50-yard line, and they have 9 seconds left, and from what I saw, obviously they still have a little bit of time to kind of make one more play, but then they have to obviously, get out of bounds, because I don't know if they had one timeout left or no timeouts left. I believe they didn't have any timeouts left.
I don't think they did either.
So they had 9 seconds to try to get a couple more yards and potentially get their field goal unit out there. And so obviously the Raiders, they play deep with their corners, play deep with their safeties. They were like, we're not going to let any Hail Mary stuff happen or anything of that nature. So then the Patriots naturally played the run with everybody deep. And then obviously Stevenson, he beat, he got past the defensive line. And then you could see him running off to the side of the field. So, and when you watch it back, and I was watching it live, it obviously looked like he was trying to get out of bounds after he broke the tackle, drag it out of bounds, get the field goal unit out. But then, as he was about to run out of bounds, and Duran was there, he must have looked up at the clock and realized that he ran out the entire clock and there's no time left. And I believe that's what caused him to lateral the ball to Jacoby. And then once Jacoby got the ball, he was like, "Okay, well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna try to do some backyard football, try to get this touchdown." And then on top of that, there's so many things that's probably going through their mind. And if you've watched Raiders football for the past 2 seasons, you know that you do not want to go to overtime with the Las Vegas Raiders. So he tried to make a play happen, and then Chandler Jones just kind of rose up and got the ball and just stiff arm back and ran to the end zone. And as I was watching it, it was just so, I don't want to say the word bizarre, but it's kind of like one of those things where you don't realize it's happening. It's kind of like you know it's happening, but it's just kind of like it's like, is this for real? What I'm saying? And I know you probably felt that way watching it on TV, and everybody felt that way watching it on TV. But seeing it live from the press box, it was just I can't believe this is happening. In all of my life and all of my time watching football, I've never seen anything like that happen in my life. And we're about 4 days removed from that game, and I've seen it back so many times, and I've seen the pictures and I've seen the memes, and I really truly still can't believe that happened. And I've talked to Chandler several times since the game, and I don't think he can still believe that it happened either. I don't think anybody can really truly fathom that the game would end that way. But fortunately for the Raiders, it did. And it was something that I'm so glad that I got to witness in person. It's something that I'm so glad that I got to cover, and it's something that you know years from now, when they're putting together the Chandler Jones Hall of Fame package of highlights, they'll put that in there, and I can watch it back and be like, I was at that game when that happened, when he was mic'd up. Of all games, we chose him to be mic'd up that game, which is also pretty cool. Um, I'm not trying to ramble. It's just like it still is so insane uh, how that all happened, just from the Keelan Cole touchdown to the review to that play. It's just like Hollywood type. I honestly, I don't think Hollywood could write something like that. I really don't.
No, it would be hard pressed. But you talk about rambling all. You can't ramble on that play because, like you said, and you've kept it PG and you've kept it clean. So please allow me to take it a little further. I watched Ramondre Stevenson, who had been absolutely gashing the Raiders in the fourth quarter, 6 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Take the
Hell of
ball
a fourth quarter.
25 yards up the middle. He finished with 172 yards on the day. Go 25 yards up the middle. And the thing that I'm thinking, okay, it looks like he might go. All right, they got him fenced in. Okay, well, they'll go to overtime. Lateral the ball to Jacoby Myers, said, oh, it takes a turn. Then he reversed field and started running backwards. And I was like, ooh, this is just, I've seen this movie many times, and this does not end well for the Raiders. You think about the tuck rule game, the index card game, the immaculate reception of all things. And you just have that ingrained in your mind, and you're thinking 5 times they've been up by double digits at the half, and this is about the 5th time that they're about to blow it. And not only are they about to blow it, they're about to blow it in spectacular. Wait a minute, what the fees is this guy? Oh my God, did he just throw the ball? And who's he throwing? You threw it to Mac Jones, behind 30 yards behind everybody? What is? Thank you. Thank you is what we should be saying. So thank you. And then I was like, and Chandler Jones, we were gracious enough to speak about his highlights, and we let him off easy because he got ran over when Ramondre Stevenson went past him for 25 yards, and all of a sudden he's standing up and the ball just finds him.
I was gonna leave. I was trying to leave out that part. I was trying to leave out the broken tackle by Stevenson up the middle. I was trying to, leave
Let him
leave
off. Yeah,
that.
I understand.
I was trying to leave him unnamed.
Yeah,
But you also got to. That's how wild that play is, and that's how wild life is. Because I've thought about it a couple of times, and if Chandler Jones makes that tackle, none of that happens.
no,
If Chandler Jones makes that tackle,
they go to overtime.
there's overtime,
Yeah.
or they have 4 more seconds left on the clock to maybe bring out a field goal unit and kick like some crazy 60-yard field goal or whatever indoors. Who knows what would happen? Or you go to overtime and then you try your luck there. But if he doesn't miss that tackle, he wouldn't be at that place at that time on that play to do that. And so sometimes you got to lose in order to win in
Hey,
life. And that's one
and
of those times where you got to take a L if you want to take the dub. Sometimes you got to lose some battles if you want to win a war.
the most classic look. I don't know if you got a camera angle to see it, but the most classic look I've ever seen of just being completely engulfed in a moment that was too large was when Mac Jones watched him catch the ball in front of him and was just dumbfounded, like, yo, this is happening. Deer
And
in
even
headlights. And next thing you know, being
and even
escorted to the ground, 6 points, game over, black team wins.
And even after the game, Josh like went up to Mac and he was talking to him for a minute, had the little moment on the field and I bet Josh was just probably just like, look, bro, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that it had to be like this. You just gotta keep on trucking, brother. I'm pretty sure that like I don't know what was said between the two, but it was like, look, bro, I know this sucks. I didn't write this. I didn't plan on this. Um, but you just keep on doing what you're doing.
Oh, and I've been to a lot of college press conferences. Haven't quite had the have the pleasure of being in a pro one. I would have given probably half my kids' college tuition fund to be in the Patriots press conference with the ability to hear Bill Belichick say, just look in his deadpan. We made a mistake on the play. We made a mistake on the play. We made a mistake on the. Obviously, you can't do that and win games. We made a mistake on the play, and to me, that it doesn't sound that much. But when he said it and the way he said it, the first thing that I thought about was Call of Duty when your dumbass jumps off the map or something, or blows yourself up with a grenade, and its mistakes were made. I was in tears, crying on my couch, laughing my ass off. Oh, that was worth the price of it. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. And I felt shout
Oh,
out shout out to Jacoby Myers. I'm not trying to
oh,
give too much credit to the opposition, but shout out to Jacoby Myers for how he handled himself in the post game press conference. When he was doing his scrum, and he took full responsibility. He was like, I was trying to make something happen. He handled the media like a pro, even with emotion behind that play. And so kudos to him for being that way. Because I know that if it would have been me and I would have made that play and that would have happened, uh, I would
unavailable.
have been I would have been in the bus before the media walked into the locker room. I would have
No,
skipped. I would have been like, yo, well, I'll get my shower in back in Foxborough, back in Massachusetts. That's how I would have been if that happened to me. So, true professional. Obviously Mac Jones. Uh, he handled himself in his press conference as well. And things like that happen. I mean, well, I've never seen anything like that happen, but mistakes happen. Everything doesn't go your way all the time, and uh, it was just such a climatic way to end such a good game because it really was a good game. Of course, it was kind of like you said, it was the same recipe where you play a great first half, and then things start to get stagnant, and then you go down seven, and then Derek Carr, on that last drive, starting from the 4th and 10 or the fourth down that throw he converted to Mac Hollins. That drive to tie the game was probably some of the best football I've seen Derek play this season, to be honest with you. And despite whatever controversial ruling it was on the touchdown, it was a great throw. Keelan did a good job, going up and getting the ball. While it was contested in good coverage, um, it was really just a good drive, and definitely the Raiders probably would have hoped that they could have a couple more drives like that, throughout the season that would have resulted in a couple more wins. But what happened has happened, and they were able to win that game, and now they got to win three more.
It was an incredible throw. Probably one of the best of the games. That drop in the bucket in the corner, and an even better catch. So
It was, yeah, and that's another thing that I'll give the Patriots credit for is their secondary looked really good.
yeah,
I thought they played pretty good throughout the game. And it was one of those things where anything that the Raiders, caught, it was warranted, and they had to work for every yard that they got. They made things really hard on Devontae. I thought Marcus Jones played really good coverage on him. Of course, the Raiders were just able to take advantage of their one-on-one matchups when they had them because they put so much pressure on Devontae, and they put so much pressure on Darren. It really opened up the game a lot for guys like Keelan and guys like Mac to have a successful day. So the coaching staff and the players in the locker room, they say it every week and they preach it where you got to take what the defense gives you. And I think that you know maybe not as consistently as a lot of people would have liked. I think that they were able to do that throughout the game. Is take what the defense gave them. Uh, how very little the defense did give them and make plays.
no, most definitely. And before we move on, I didn't get a chance to listen to what Darren had to say about the Waller, about the pass that he defended intended for Devontae Adams that most likely would have been him still running for a touchdown.
Well, that was a really weird situation just because McDaniels, because he was asked about it in the press conference, and he said that it wasn't necessarily Darren's fault on the play. It was probably just the way that the coverage played it, um, kind of forced that. I'm not exactly sure what happened or what was supposed to happen on that play. Um, but at the same time, it's not the first time that we've seen something like that. Obviously, in the Chiefs game, where you have kind of two dudes running the same route because pressure off the line kind of jams things together, and you can't do exactly necessarily what you want to do, and it causes confusion and communication issues. So I would assume that it was probably something to the degree of that, as well as it being Derek's first game back after about 6 7 weeks. So it was things like that happen, and you don't want them to happen, but I'm not exactly sure whose fault it was, or what the play was supposed to be necessarily, but it was definitely funky for sure.
No, for sure. But hey, at the end of the day, they got the W. That's all that matters. Offense put up 30 again. We were able to overcome the turnover. We were able to overcome the comeback attempt by the Patriots. Now we're moving on to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh brings its own set of challenges. Before this game, before we received notice of the late Franco Harris's passing, Pittsburgh was already scheduled to honor him with a retirement ceremony, and so they were looking to dedicate a win against the Raiders to Franco Harris, and now they have the game in his memory. And to top it off, you look at the sub-zero temperatures. It's supposed to, with the wind chill, it's supposed to feel like -4. So the Raiders have been very bad in the Carr era in games that were below 37 degrees. And the run defense suddenly gave up 200 yards. And so, are we looking? Are we looking at some things that are we definitely should be concerned about, or are we going to just keep rolling and roll with the punches and do what we do?
To answer your question, both. Um, there's definitely some things that needs to be cleaned up on the defensive side because you know I wouldn't say the Steelers' offensive line is as talented as the Patriots' offensive line, but I definitely would say that they're a very big and physical unit, and they have a huge running back. A lot of people talk about Derrick Henry and how big he is. I remember seeing Najee Harris last year at the Pro Bowl during practice, and Najee Harris honestly is right there behind Derrick Henry for most massive human beings I've seen. So it's going to be a tough, Najee was tough last year too. Had a couple of really good runs, and so he's going to be definitely somebody that you gotta worry about. Hopefully, Billings is able to return. Billings, he missed a couple of weeks with a leg injury, and he's been able to be a limited participant in practice this week, and he's kind of trending on the up and up. So we'll see how that goes in terms of helping with the run defense. Um, but they definitely got to clean some stuff up there. It really does help that Luke Masterson is starting to, pick things up and come into his own this early in his career. I thought he played well against the Patriots. So him, along with Denzel, along with Billings returning, and just how Max has been playing and run defense, a lot of those players are going to be responsible for holding Najee, to a very limited game. And if they can do that, then I feel like they have a lot of success, especially against a rookie quarterback coming off of a concussion protocol. And as for the offense, um, you can look at the numbers and say that Derek Carr has struggled historically when it comes to cold weather games, but he has a running back that has historically done very well in cold weather games. And Oklahoma, where he hails from, is a pretty cold place to live. And Alabama wasn't necessarily, that hot in the winter either. So I think if the offensive line, who I must add, Alex Bars and Dylan Parham, both questionable, but we're limited participants for 2 straight days in practice this week, both trending up. So you look at the offensive line, and it looks like you're going to have your usual starting unit out there playing. So if they decide that they want to give Josh the ball in crunch time and say, we need you to grind this out, I cannot think of too many other running backs in the NFL that I would want to give the ball to in crunch time in 9-degree weather and say, look, bro, we need you to win this game.
No, there definitely isn't too many. And right now, Josh is the top dog. Uh, I had read something about Josh McDaniel saying that Jacobs had been a captain all season long. I know a couple weeks ago there was a big story about how they demanded that he be a captain for the rest of the year. But Josh he's been incredible. He's been absolutely amazing. He's been everything that I hoped for in a running back, and from what I've seen from Dave and Josh, he appears to be everything that they were looking for in a football player and a man on the team. And I don't know where his contract situation lies. I got to believe that they're talking, but I understand that's not your role. But coming down the stretch, are they good? He's been banged up, and I know this was kind of the knock on him was he going to be able to play a full 16? And I know he's been practicing lightly, we'll say. But how's he doing? How's he holding up?
He seems to be holding up, and honestly, it's not very much different. I mean, you look at the injury report. Najee took a day off this week. He's dealing with a hip injury. I mean, at this time of the year, it's kind of hard to find a starting running back that's not going to be on the injury report, just with how physical the position is and how grueling it is. And Josh, despite whatever injury history he does have, on the back end of that history, he's also very known to play through injuries and play well through injuries. which he's done for the past couple of weeks, and it also does help that I believe he doesn't have an injury designation on him this week as well.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing him very much on the injury report, if at all. So he's definitely been grinding it out, and he has a lot to prove for himself, just in terms of getting respect around the league and respect from his teammates, and that's what he plays for. He loves this game and he demands the respect, and he's been getting it, rightfully so. Named to the Pro Bowl yesterday, leading the league in rushing. Everything that's been coming to him has been deserved. And the way that he's been playing, I haven't seen too many running backs in my day play the way that he's playing right now, and it's just really delightful to see. Uh, and even last week, I guess you could say he had an off game, and he still had about 99 yards of rushing, 115, scrimmage yards. It's got to the point now this season where you have a 115 total scrimmage yard game as an off game for a
Right.
running back. He's playing that well right now, where that's kind of like, okay, cool, whatever. That's wild. So he definitely deserves to be a captain. He deserves to be a Pro Bowler, and he deserves to have the ball in his hand this Saturday if the game is down to the wire, for sure.
And let me just elaborate even further on Josh real quick. He ran for 95 yards last week, and he was missing his right guard, his left guard. Uh, didn't Illuminor have some issues at points in time during that game as well?
Yeah, he came into the game with a minor injury that he's been playing through, and so definitely the line is banged up. And honestly, shout out to the line because it's been a lot deeper than a lot of people would have expected this season, just with the injuries and the rotation. And you have two rookies getting extensive playing time, and they've been able to play it the way that they have. They've been able to give Derek a good amount of time in the pocket. There really hasn't been a big sack problem since the first game against the Chargers. There's been games this season where he's not been sacked at all. So they've been playing hard, and I think Andre James doesn't get enough credit. I don't think Colton Miller gets enough credit. I don't think Dylan Parham gets enough credit. Jermaine, people like to tease him for his penalties that he has. And I'm pretty cool with Jermaine in the locker room, and he hears it. He's trying to shut all you guys up. Jermaine's a great dude, but he's been playing really well this season. Thayer, when it's time for him to come in, he's been playing well.
Yeah.
It's just been a deep unit. Just Jordan Meredith, he came in for Dylan when he got injured, and he really hadn't had Jordan Meredith hasn't had major snaps in a game since he was at Western Kentucky, and he came in and he handled his own. So it really just shows how deep the unit is, and it shows how Carmen Priscilla has really got those guys ready to roll throughout the season. And I know you were talking about Josh, but it's kind of had to kind of diverge because the success of Josh definitely lays a lot on those guys, and not even just the offensive line, but the way that Foster's been able to block, the way that the receivers have been able to block, the way Jakob has been able to block. A lot of those guys are just as responsible for the success behind the of what we've seen from Josh this season. So um, definitely, in my opinion, has been the most underrated part about this team this season has been the blocking.
Absolutely. And it was one of my points of during the off season that I was trying to educate people on as they continued to say that the line was subpar and we never did anything to the line. And I was like, I don't know if you guys were paying attention to how that line was playing at the last month of the season, but they put it together and they were building something and they were knocking people off the ball. And it's I've known that line to be more of a downhill type running, downhill attacking type line rather than the side to side dancing zone bears. I know that they still mix in their zones along with their power, but most of it is inside and big boy football, as I like to call it. And
I mean,
they absolutely have been unheralded and not spoken highly enough about. And I'll even take it a step to the coaching. You spoke of Carmen Brasillo. There was a lot of talk early in the season about the coaches not settling on a line. Oh, they're mismatching guys. What are they doing? They can't decide on a line. And now you're seeing the genius of the coaching and the preparation taking place in order for guys to be ready when their name is called.
Most definitely. And you also have to account for the fact that, they're doing this and, two of their potential starting tackles, got hurt. So you have Brandon Parker. He got hurt first game of preseason. He's been out all season, and then you trade for Justin Herron, and he goes down after 2 games. And those are two starting quality tackles that you're losing, and they're both swing tackles that you're losing. So you've been able to do what you've been doing, with the rotation, the amount of people that you have to plug in there. It's been wild, but they've been able to find a way to do it. And I think that the coaching staff kind of looked at the line that they had when they first came into the situation this offseason, and they thought to themselves, this is a pretty good offensive line. I think that we don't have to make any real drastic changes. We just need to coach up these guys that they have and get out the full potential of what they can offer. And I think that they've been doing a good job of that, as well as developing the rookies that they drafted. What's up, Phil?
Levi, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Excellent. I hear you talking good stuff.
We moved on to Pittsburgh. You managed to get home just in time to talk about the Steelers.
Oh, that frozen tundra that the Raiders are heading into. Ooh, I know Levi's staying back. He ain't going in that one.
Nope.
Nah. I mean, it's a very historic game, and it's 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, and it's a huge deal. And you got to, I'm a sports junkie, and I respect the game and the history of it. So It'll be really cool to, even though I won't be there, it'll be pretty awesome to just watch the game and respect the history behind it and say that I covered it. So I'm really looking forward to it for sure. And it's on Christmas Eve, nice holiday game. So it'll be cool.
Oh, so you are going to be there?
No, I won't be there. It'll just be cool to cover.
Okay.
Also, another thing look out for, and I'll talk about it tomorrow in Pick 6. Not too many people know this, but Christmas Eve is Mr. Adams' birthday. So he will be playing the Steelers on his birthday. So, hopefully he'll be feeling good, ready to drop some TDs on his birthday.
So speaking of Adams on his birthday, playing for his favorite team, have you ever talked to him about what? I don't know. I'm sure that you have, but as the season progresses, what it means to be out here and really just putting on that silver and black and going out there and playing all the teams that he used to root against as the best receiver on his favorite team. And like I said, you mentioned his birthday, and he's got that added motivation that I didn't know that stat about, and now it just adds more fuel to the fire, more motivation, and you're looking at what could potentially be a really entertaining game.
I think for Adams, knowing knowing the little bit about Devontae I do know, and having the conversations that I have had with him, he's a very goal-oriented guy, very laser-focused guy, and so I really do believe that he's having a lot of fun with his teammates here. I really do believe that he enjoys playing for the Raiders, and he's definitely having the time of his life. But when it comes down to it for Mr. Adams, and I believe that he'll agree with me on this, is there's two things. There's winning and there's losing. And above everything else, above playing for your childhood team and playing with your college quarterback and having all this fun on the West Coast, close to home, above all else, all Devontae cares about is winning football games, because he is the ultimate competitor. And so I think, of course it'll be his birthday, and he'll love the fact that he's, going to be out there with his brothers on Christmas Eve. But when it comes down to it, I really, truly believe that Devontae is going in with the mindset of, I have a job to do. I'm going to go into this game. I'm going to do everything I can to win and dominate my opposition and then go home back to my family. And I think that's the way that he's going to handle this game, despite all of the storylines that we've all written about for the past 6 to 7 months. When it comes down to Devontae's in a situation where it is sink or swim, you have to win 3 games if you have any chance to get to the playoffs and accomplish what you came out here to do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he plays in this situation. And considering that he's played a couple, 1 or 2 cold weather games in his day, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, -4 won't be too much of an issue for him.
Yeah. I've seen him do more in colder weather.
Right. That is for sure. Before you get out of here, final thoughts on the Raiders and Steelers.
I think it'll be a very good game, very competitive game, definitely historic. Definitely, everybody gets to be around their family and watch some good football. My final evaluations is the Steelers offense is definitely still trying to figure out their way. They have a lot of youth and they have a lot of, components that they're still trying to figure things out with, with their quarterback, with their offensive line, still have young receivers. Deontay Johnson is great, and George Pickens, one day will be a star in this league, just from what I've seen. The defense is very good. I think the Steelers defense is probably the more underrated defense in the NFL, just from what they have. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a baller. TJ Watt was the best defensive player in the league last year. Alex Highsmith has had one of the sneakiest great seasons I've seen with 11. I believe he has like 11 sacks, 11 and a half sacks. Cameron Hayward, he hasn't slowed down a bit. Linebacker play has been good. Secondary has been good. I don't know if Terrell Emmons is going to be able to play. He's questionable, but he's definitely a baller. The Steelers defense is going to be something that you got to watch out for. So, fortunately for the Raiders, their offense statistically has been pretty good this season, and they're back to full strength now that they got Darren back and they got Renfro back, and hopefully they'll have their starting offensive unit in its entirety back. So it'll definitely be a clash of the Steelers defense versus the Raiders offense. Who can be more physical? Who's going to play harder in the trenches? Who's going to want it more?
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt.
Well,
Mr. Edwards, thank you for your time. We wish you an unfiltered Merry Christmas to you and yours, although you said they were coming over to see you. And
good.
Yes, and I'm glad you got home safe, Phil. I know the weather out there is probably pretty grueling right now.
Yeah. Thank God it hasn't hit 16 degrees yet. This would have been real ugly.
I think let me look at my phone. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh wow! I just got a notification. The Jets just benched Zach Wilson.
Late.
It's 50 here in Vegas right now. So I'll take it. I'll take 50. 50 in December.
Oh, that's nice for Vegas, yeah.
At 7:30, great.
Tomorrow a high of 62. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's good weather.
That's that Bay Area weather right there.
No humidity, we out here. Oh yeah, we good. That's perfect.
He said it.
And hold on, you said Zach Wilson just threw a pick?
I didn't say Zach Wilson just got benched.
Oh, he just got benched.
Yeah, no, he came because he became the starter again,
right?
Because Mike White got hurt, and so I was just trying to look at the temperature, and the first notification I got is Zach Wilson got benched.
Oof.
So,
thanks.
So now the Jets are playing undrafted backup quarterback Chris Strebler.
Tomato.
I would really love a Travis Etienne touchdown right now. That's all I'd rather.
I don't know how much time is left in the game, but I'm gonna
Oh,
handle a
it
little
just
bit more
started fourth
business
quarter.
on the start fourth quarter. Well, I'll see if I can catch a little bit more of it after this. But Merry Christmas to you too. I hope you both take care. Hopefully, next week we can, be talking about a Raiders victory. Coming out of Pittsburgh onto a extremely tough 49ers team that is deciding they want to play lights out with a 7th round quarterback right now. So, but definitely if we can get this dub, it'll be a lot of momentum moving forward. Crazier things have happened throughout what I've been seeing since I've covered the team. So playoffs definitely still on the table, still could happen. They just gotta handle their business and control their own destiny.
Yes, sir. All right, brother man. Take care. Like I said, Merry Christmas and enjoy. And hopefully next week we are talking about another victory.
Most definitely. I see you, Phil.
Right now.
You both have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Levi Edwards with the positivity message that we all need to hear. Why does this show air weekly? Because that's when I do it. Once a week. Got a bunch of other things to do, but I could get that I need to do a little more, that we need to do a little more. It's been tough with the inconsistencies, not gonna lie to you. But through it all, it's been an interesting season. Yeah. And we here now, and at 6 and 8, they got a chance.
Well, if the Jaguars win this game tonight,
they might actually slide in. They might slide in above us, or they got a legit shot at knocking off Tennessee. Do they play the Titans again?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they got a legit shot at knocking off Tennessee.
And then the other thing is, Miami goes back and plays in Miami this week. He got Green Bay. Miami has been on a roll when they've been at home.
They've been on a roll too, a roll of losing, but Green Bay.
Well, they've never been they're not a good away team.
Right. No, I get it.
The numbers show, but then after looking at that game in the snow against Buffalo, I think they can get it together. But again, it's one game at a time with us. If there is a so-called, you still need to worry about what's in front of you on Saturday in -4-degree weather.
And you said that, and I just felt the air in the room just get a little colder. Just that bone chilling cold, where it's like, ooh, -4.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And Pittsburgh they got back healthy. That's what bugs me right now.
Well, it's the defense is healthy. We get a chance to see top unit versus top unit. I have my reservations about the cold, but knowing that Josh Jacobs plays well in the cold and Devontae Adams is a beast, and it's his birthday, so he's gonna want to go off doubly. The cold is not gonna affect him. I want to see good football more than anything. I just want to see quality football. The 13 penalties was a shit ton of mistakes. We can't have that. We can't have that.
Yeah. All right, let's look at this injury report.
The spirit of Franco will be there, and that, sir, is what frightens me the most. That is what really gives me the cause for concern. And I don't want to sit here and be talking about I'm scared of a remembrance game. We'll say that's PC. But
so a lot of guys. So going through the injury report right now. Sorry to interrupt you. Steelers give their defense rest. One guy we might not have to do is Terrell Edmonds. Hamstring. Practice all week. And then
not in the cold. That's not the place to be having hamstring injuries in the cold. That'll tighten up on you real quick.
Now our biggest question is this. Bars question. But he practiced. He was limited this week. Jackson Barton was limited, questionable as well. Bill had limited practice all week, questionable as well. Darren Butler quads. Luminar, he looks like he's good to go. Harmon's good to go. Parham, he practiced last 2 days of practice, so he's questionable as well. Zamir White, and as you know, Rock Ya-Sin with the knee injury.
Now, so Levi had said that it was a good sign for Bars and Parham to be out there, and that the offensive line will be back to full strength.
And I think
Harmon is good, and I think, like I said, the only one that was questionable or out is Rock Ya-Sin.
Okay. I mean, if we can get Bars and there you go, Bars and Parham back, we should be good to go. I wouldn't mind also having Jackson Barton back as well, but we can get those guys back. That's a big plus.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the one thing going forward, this is what we all have to think of.
Hold on. We got to answer the elephant in the room, Jones.
I heard this Devontae Adams guy played a few games in the cold. Can anyone confirm that? Yes.
Have to ask Vinny. You have to wait for Vinny's okay.
I don't need to ask a damn Vinny motherfucker. Shit. The motherfucker can play in the cold. He can play in 5-degree weather.
So Josh McDaniels won a game where they threw the ball 6 times and ran 52 times?
Yeah.
And blew Buffalo out doing that. It, like you said, Raiders fan, 81-77. This is probably a game you really don't want the ball in Carr's hands for too long. The Steelers are going to be amped. They're going to be blitzing a lot. So they're probably, if they're sitting on short throws, you'll have a chance to beat them deep. But if they're sitting off, playing off within 5 yards, we got to be mindful that they are going to have seen the audible that Derek called to the screen pass and how that got picked off by Kyle Duggar.
Hey, now hold on. Hey, I just realized something. It's going to be the battle of the little fingers.
The sack happy boys. That both of these fellas take a sack and are missing the ball.
Who's got the strongest little fingers, Carr or Pickett?
They both have 24 sacks on the season.
Well, we're gonna see that.
Definitely. Man. It's been a wild one. It has been a wild one. The hits just don't stop coming around here.
I'm sorry. Look, bro. I'm still thinking of the fact this man doing a timeout he need to use both hands to squeeze the water. everybody else, I'm like, hold up. McDaniels used the water bottle and he just used one hand. Why is this man using two hands?
Out of water.
Nah, bro. There was plenty of water in there. Plenty of water up in that bad boy.
Sometimes you just gotta just get a good grip on it. Use both hands. Make sure you don't spill.
I gotta go back and make my Game of Thrones memes again.
But
Derek versus the Ice King 2.0.
And that shit is cold. I'll be the first person to acknowledge the fact that he said -4, and I was like, listen, I'd be absolutely no good to anybody at -4. None. Like, I'm sorry, you want me to do what? Bro, I don't even want to be alive out here. You want me to go out here and get hit?
Oh shit.
Oh, it's up to
Oh
11.
hell no.
It warmed up. There we go. But the wind chill, that's what's taking it under.
The wind chill is why it's gonna feel like -4. Shit.
There's that chill again. I feel it all over again.
Mm. Mm-mm.
You got to stay sharp around here. Stay frosty, my friend.
Hey, look, I'm just pointing out the facts.
Yeah, that is. I just can't even. I don't even want to.
It's not the snow you got to worry about. It's the wind. It's that wind chill. When you get out to Pittsburgh and you feel that cold wind chill hit you, and I've been out there before, that shit feels like death has just reached in and just grabbed your soul. It feels like, ooh.
It's unfiltered truth, bro. Just gotta let it be known. Just roll with it.
Hey, look.
All right.
Hey, look. He go. Hey, look. Don't be like Dan. Yeah, don't be like Dan when he was trying to come at Dame Lillard.
So he knew what he was doing when he was doing that. He was on TV. I don't feel bad for him. Had a moment, forgot the camera was hot.
Man.
Look, I can't show up in Vegas. I'm going to get shot.
Shit. I'm going to throw a shoe at a motherfucker. Be like, boom. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's going to be cold as shit when we get in Pittsburgh. If you're going to that game, I suggest you bring the jumbo pack of hand warmers. Going and you might want to try to put in that order for that what the fleece jackets that got the heater in it. Go on and just get that because you're gonna need it.
The hand warming athletic supporter.
You're gonna need it.
Not only that, but let's be real. We're talking about the wind. We're talking about hitting the ground is going to hurt. Getting hit, period, is going to hurt. Hitting someone is going to hurt. And if you got any type of little knick-knack, tallywhack injuries, it's going to radiate through your whole body because it'll be so doggone cold. But it is what it is. If they want to get to where they want to get to, they're going to have to learn to adapt, overcome, and outlast. They're going to have to survive. They want this. It's still within their grasp, but not with the outside the reach. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. And Garrett Wilson did his absolute best to try and let Jacoby Myers off the hook with a random lateral. Oh no, he just got it kicked out of his hand. That's crazy. That dude hit a spinning capoeira kick on his way down and kicked the ball out of Garrett Wilson's hands. Turnover for Jacksonville.
I'm looking at
That's one of those little listen, I'll tell you what a hand warmer is. It's the unfiltered truth. Motherfuckers out there have needed a little help in passing tests, let's say. And there's a certain device that is used to make sure your aid, we'll call it, remains at a certain temperature, certain heat temperature. That would be what your hand warmer would be. I'm just saying. Not speaking from experience, though.
Oof. Yeah, it's fucking cold.
But this game is so out there. Like, from all of the games that we've seen this year, you've had a pretty good idea of what could happen, and then whenever you see a big lead established in the first half, then we've now been conditioned to feel fear and feelings of anxiety because you don't believe that lead is going to hold up. But there are so many different storylines at play. There's so many different backstories. It's one of those things that it's wide open. Will the Raiders execute? Who knows? Will they go out there, take care of business, or will they just get railroaded like many think they will? The cards are not stacked in their favor, but anytime Kenny Pickett is under center, you got to like your chances at the same time. Unfiltered truth. You heard it here first.
Oh, shit.
Did not know that they stopped working after you hit 5 degrees and below. That's pretty crazy.
Hey, fam, let me see if I can show this shit.
Move it over a little bit. Nah, the glare.
I know, right? Hold on. I'm turning it down.
What is that?
Fuck. Somebody, the fucking toilet paper, bro.
Wow.
They got the fucking toilet paper hanging like that, bro. Let me see.
It's hard out here, bro. It's hard out here.
Oh, damn, that fucking
not working,
bro.
My
reaction. But shit, I mean, Phil, did you have anything else to say other than these motherfuckers got to do this shit? They got to play smart football and try not to turn the ball over, not throw like a pick six to bring a team back in the game when you're up 17-3.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I do actually, in fact, have something to say. My article was just published. The Raiders 2022 roller coaster continues on about a couple hours ago from the RaiderRamble.com. Give it a look at it. Make a comment, retweet it, help spread it out there. Get your boy some recognition for his work on the paper as well as on the YouTube screens. It's at RaiderRamble.com. If you go to my Twitter page, Phil Robinson III, it will be the pinned tweet, and check it out.
Outstanding. I don't have nothing much to say, but I wish each and every one of you guys a Merry Christmas. If I don't see you or hear from you guys next week, Happy New Year as well.
Yes.
From me and Phil Roberts of The Unfiltered Truth.
And hopefully soon we will have some super news for you guys. But for Phil Jones, I'm Phil Robinson. This is The Unfiltered Truth. It's been a pleasure. We are out.